guys, I'm just going to do a quick review with you. I'm looking for my eraser. Before you start next week, I know that I haven't had time to do a bunch of new videos, but I thought that I would go over just a few small things that I saw on the assessment that people were having trouble with. So I'm outside my house. I didn't feel like doing this at Woodlawn, so I apologize. I'm just on my porch. But a few topics that I saw you guys having trouble with, or that you need to really know and think about before you take your big test this week, there's some division problems that you're getting wrong, or that you don't understand when to multiply or divide fractions in these division problems or multiplication. Let's talk about it. One thing on your assessment that I saw, it said that you had three of something, like you had three large amounts of something. I think it was with baking, and it says you had three, and then it said, how many 4/5 can you make or get out of three? Well, you need to know that all you have is three. That's it. That's what you're starting with. So if you're starting with that and you're wanting to know how many 4/5 are in three or inside of that, you have to divide that three by 4/5. So you would have just simply divided three by 4/5 in order to find out how many of these fit in this, right? That one in particular gave you bar models, and I think actually the bars made you more confused than just reading the word problem itself. So just try to comprehend the word problem itself. You have three. That's all you have. And you want to know how many of these are inside of this. Divide this by what you have, or divide what you have by how many little 4/5 are inside of that three, and you'll get your answer. You should know how to do this. You shouldn't need a calculator for 3 divided by 4/5. Do your keep, flip, change. Okay. So always write down what you have to start with. Always write down what you have. You have three. That's all you have. Don't divide what the small little 4/5 by three. That wouldn't make sense if you're dividing small little pieces into thirds, right? So divide your total, or what you have, by how many of these it's looking for, and you'll get your answer. All right, so don't get that type of problem confused with another type that I saw. Was, let's see, which one was it? I've got it written down here somewhere. Oh, if you want to know a fraction of a number, that's when you multiply. So in that particular problem I just talked about, you had three and you wanted to know how many 4/5 were inside. But let's change it and say that you wanted to know what 4/5 of three was. Anytime you're trying to find a fraction of an amount that you have, that's when you multiply. So that's when you would do 3 times, marker's going to break right in this video. That's when you would do 3 times 4/5, is to find out what 4/5 of 3 was. So if you're taking notes during this video, if you want to know what 1/6 of 12 is, you're finding a fraction of the 12, then you would multiply 12 times 1/6. That's when you multiply. If, however, you want to know how many 1/6 are in 12, then you need to divide 12, what you have, the total, by 1/6 to see how many little 1/6 are in 12. I hope this makes sense, but that's just a little key thing that I saw you guys messing up on. So take notes on that. Let's see what else. Elevation. Elevation. If you're talking about elevation, we've talked about it a bunch. Elevation, they're always going to talk about sea level. Sea level is at 0. And if it says which elevation is greater and which one's further away from 0, this, that, and the other, what are you supposed to do whenever you immediately start seeing something about elevation? You're supposed to draw that number line. And what kind of a number line do you need to draw when it's elevation? You need to draw your vertical number line. That's up and down. So draw your vertical number line. Sea level is at 0. I'm at home. I don't have any good expo markers. Sea level is at 0. So sea level is right in the middle. That's the top of the ocean. Remember, and everything above sea level is going to be your positives. Everything below sea level is going to be your negatives, right? And you should know where to put your numbers on your vertical number line. So if you see something about elevation, or sea level, draw your vertical up and down number line and put those values on the number line. You can see Briella running in the background. Just, oh, happy day. She don't have to worry about milestones, does she? No, she doesn't. Okay. You think powers of 10. Powers of 10. I saw that on your assessment for 6th grade, but I thought that was a 5th grade standard. So we haven't really talked about it. I don't think much at all. Powers of 10. If you're dividing by 10, then you move your decimal to the left. If you're taking notes, write that down. If you are dividing by 10, you move your decimal to the left and your number should become smaller, right? So if you are multiplying by 10, you move your decimal to the right and your number will become bigger. Think when you divide something up, anything, you divide a cake, you're dividing it into smaller pieces. So your value or your number should be smaller. If you are multiplying by 10, then you should be moving your decimal to the right, because if you move your decimal to the right, if you put a problem down right now, if you move your decimal to the right, then your value or your number is actually becoming greater, right? Well, that's what you do when you multiply something. I'm going to multiply. Anything that you multiply becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you multiply powers of 10, that means 10, 100, 1,000, whatever it is, move your decimal to the right. If you divide by 10, 100, 1,000, whatever it is, however many zeros there are, you move your decimal to the left. Okay? Brain break. Come here. Show them your snail. Come here. You can be in the video. You want me to hold? Come here. Show me. We're recording. Look. Briella wants to show you her snail. I don't think they can see it. Look real close. See that little snail with its antennas? She picks up all creatures. She's crazy. Okay. I'm going to put it back. All right. I hope you got the division of powers of 10. If it's 10, move your decimal to the left 1 time. Divide by 100, move your decimal to the left 2 times. Divide by 1,000, move your decimal to the left 3 times. If you are multiplying by 10, move your decimal to the right 1 time. Multiplying by 100, move your decimal to the right 2 times because there's 2 zeros. If you're multiplying by 1,000, move your decimal to the right 3 times because there are 3 zeros. Opposite and reciprocal. Don't get those confused. Everybody wants to get confused on what the difference in the word opposite and the word reciprocal are. Opposite literally means whatever the number is, but either the other negative or positive, right? So the opposite of 2/3 is -2/3. The opposite of -12 is 12. So the opposite means that exact same number, just the other negative or positive. And then reciprocal, that's completely different. Reciprocal just means that was an index card, just means flipped. So if it's 2/3, the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2, which you should know as 1 1/2, right? So if it says what is the opposite of, don't flip, that's reciprocal. And if it says what is the reciprocal, you better be flipping, don't think opposite. Get those right. Write it down right now on your little notes and review it. Think about it. Review it. Coefficient. A coefficient is the big number that's being multiplied by a variable. Terms are separated by addition and minus signs normally in your equation. Let me see if I can get my marker to work real quick. Try to give you a little example, even though, we've done this so many times. Just trying to help you. Nope, it's not going to work. Not going to work. So sad. So just whenever you're taking notes, so you could write this down. I'll give you something. Write this down. Write down 5x plus 10 minus 2x plus 5, right? So your reciprocals were the numbers that were being multiplied by those x's. So I know I gave you 6 was being multiplied by x, and whatever other number I gave you with an x on it, that number is being multiplied by x. So those two numbers are your coefficients. Terms, if you wrote that down, I gave you 4 terms. There were 2 terms that had the x with them, and there was a 10 and a 5, right? So terms are separated by addition and subtraction signs. So remember to count the terms and know that a coefficient is the number that is beside the variable. It's the number that is being multiplied by the variable. See if I got any other tips that I wrote down. Took some notes on what you guys did. I think that's the main thing. That's it. I hope you took some notes and learned a little something. Just try to think logically. Any word problem that it gives you, think, I'm doing this. Like, we're going to actually have people here. We're going to do this. Like, I know one of your problems said, we're going to mix this kind of sugar and this kind of sugar. Think about it. I'm in the kitchen. I'm mixing white sugar and I'm mixing brown sugar. If you're mixing those together, then what are you doing with those two values? You're adding them. You're adding them together. Just try to picture yourself in every situation and every scenario, and it'll help you out. All right. I love you guys. I think you're going to do awesome. I only get really like excited and eager to help you because I'm proud of you and I'm really excited to see what you're going to do. All right. So Briella, bye. Y'all have a great week and just try your best and I'll be super proud of you.